So we have on the podcast today, we have former boxer and current amateur and pro coach, Richie Ghent, and he's also the owner of RG Boxfit from Bilston. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
No, I'm all right, mate. How's lockdown treating you?
Oh, amazing. Enjoying it.
Yeah,
Getting fat.
Like everybody else.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how in like such a in the pro boxing game, how you got started in it, and the things what people don't see. People just see what people put up on social media, or if you've got one of your lads on a big show and stuff like that, but they don't see what goes on behind the scenes and how hard it is. You know what I mean? People think, "Oh, what a job that is, pro coach. What a what a job it is," and stuff like that. But they don't see the hard bits of it. You know, the less glamorous side, where doing your big shows and stuff like that. So I was talking to you about how you started, because I know that you started with Paul Priory. You can tell us more about that, as in you started in the pro game, but then how you become to get your own stable and your own gym.
Yeah, well, first started with Paul Goff at Priory Park. He was my professional coach. When I stopped boxing, I wanted to stay in the sport, so I started coaching with Paul, coaching the amateurs, and then when he turned over with the pros, I started helping him out with the pros as well. So I quit boxing when I was 23. So I was young really to quit, and I think I went into coaching more or less straight away after a good few months in Spain, getting absolutely smashed every day. But yeah, I started working with Ryan Aston, Ricky Summers, Luke Paddock, Ryan Corrigan. There's my brother. Who else? Trying to think. Top of me, I can't think of any more. Yeah, but working alongside Paul Goff, training them.
Yeah, and it's like, cause obviously I remember when you was helping coach, helping coach with Paul. But then I remember then when you started your own gym in Bilston, and then you sort of like, as it like you base like your personal training business from there and stuff like that. And then you had, who was your first pro, as when you was the head pro coach? Who was your first pro? Now, was it Ricky? Who was your first?
Ricky Summers, yeah, Ricky Summers come over.
Yeah.
I think that was Paul decided to knock the pros on the head, which left a couple of fighters without a coach.
Yeah.
And I think me and Ricky already had a bit of a relationship through coaching in the past.
Yeah.
And he come over, we had a few sessions, and I think he thought it was the right move for him to take at that time. So I thought, why not? Let's do it. Let's start a little pro gym.
Yeah, because I remember then at that time, did you have, who else come over to you then? Just your brother, obviously. Your brother was he?
Yeah, there was my brother, Danny Ball, come over. He was more or less, he come over straight away with Ricky. Natty Hall, he started, but he didn't actually continue and didn't have any bouts. So to start with, there was Ricky, Danny Ball, my brother, and Connor Lee Jones come over as well.
Yeah. It's like, when you first, it's like, you took the pros on and stuff like that. Was you like, because obviously it takes balls, but like you think, right, it's down to me now. You know what I mean? You've got to up, because you sort of you was a very young coach. You thought, right, it's down to me now, and then you've got to sort of like adapt, because all these fighters have all come from different coaches and different amateur clubs like that. You've got to try and implement your philosophy on them in your little ways, because everybody coach is different. Little tweaks, little things there, and you've got to try. That's hard when you've got if a boxer like Ricky who's had quite a few coaches, and you've got to try and adjust things and stuff like that. That's
it's extremely hard. It's not the best way to start out coaching, but it's the only way to start out coaching, unless you've built up a big background through your amateurs. Which at the time when I did take the pros on, we didn't have any amateurs. We wasn't affiliated.
Yeah.
So I took the pros on. Ricky come from the Lions background. Danny Ball, he hadn't really done too much. 1 second, mate. It's going to reverse his car. So Danny Ball hadn't really done too much boxing at the time. Since amateur, he'd only been unlicensed. I think he had 17 unlicensed fights, won all 17. So his pedigree there was amazing, really. But and like his natural talent he's got, is out this world. And as for Ricky, because he come from the Lions background, same as Conor Lee Jones, you're always trying to bed your bit of style of coaching into the lads, which is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But some can adapt, some can't. It's one of them.
Yeah, and it's like, I want to talk to you about as well. Is like, because obviously you've got different. Most of your fighters, I think, they all come from like different areas and stuff like that. So tickets won't clash too much. I think I'm not 100%. But what's it like from a ticket selling point of view for fighters? Like, so now you're going to get brilliant ticket sellers, and then you're going to get some not so much. Where you try you sort of like play promoter as well, promoter role as well. You try and push your lads.
Yeah, the truth behind professional boxing, it's really struggling. Small all shows.
Yeah.
So for example, for one of my fighters to box to make his debut, we've got Crazy T, the Italian. He's looking to make his debut as soon as possible. Now, for him to box, he has to try and clear at least minimum £1,000 for his opponent.
Yeah.
Then he needs to add some money to the show. Then he needs to get paid himself. So if you're working it around £3,000, that's a lot of tickets to sell. Awesome. If you don't sell them tickets, then you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
If you don't cover your opponent's wage, you're not going to be boxing on the show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of fighters out there that struggle to actually cover the opponent's wage. So if you haven't got sponsorship or any help through different businesses to help you out along to start your journey off, you're not going to get nowhere in the sport unless you take the big fights and the fights that you don't really want to take.
Yeah.
Which that's what I find I want more stable to be. I'm not one of these where I don't want a stable of lads where we've been boxing journeyman week in, week out, and we're getting the wins.
Yeah.
I want my fighters to actually test themselves, and if they're going to make it, they're going to make it. Danny Ball, prime example. Casey Benjamin, top fighter from Birmingham. Really, really do rate Casey. I'd done from the amateurs. When we had that fight opportunity, tough fight for Danny. Spoke to Danny about it. Danny's capable of beating him, which I think on the night he did. He got the draw. But that's what we need to do. You need to go into fighters' backyards and go and get that win if you're going to make it, especially from the Midlands. Unless you've got the big Matchroom and Frank Warren back up that can help you out along the way, then that's great. But BCB boxing, it's tremendous what they do for local fighters, but them fighters need to go out, graft every day to earn a living.
Yeah.
Then they need to try and sell the tickets. Then they need to train full time. It's professional boxing's not what it's made out to be.
No, I think people don't realise that from the outside. People just think boxers get a purse, fight, that's it, done. But it's anything but that. What is like you say, they have to fight the way they. So I think I've heard you in the gym a few times saying now that the old doesn't. They'll take more now than they used to. Like, you know, years, like even like 4 or 5 years, everyone was like trying to pad the record, journeyman, trying to pad the record, build the way up and protect them. But like, if you do that, you could be nearly in your 30s and you ain't achieved anything yet. You know what I mean? Like look at Danny Ball, like you say, you know, he took the risk early, you know, against an undefeated fighter. And now look what he's doing. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah. Well, we got the fight opportunity for Mason Cartwright.
Yeah.
Once again, another great fighter. I've watched Mason a few times, but I know what Danny's capable of, and I know what Danny's got in his locker. His timing's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I was a fight that because there was a belt on the line. There's got to be, as long as there's a big reward at the end of it. That's the main key. Yeah, you've got to have a big reward at the end of it, like going up to Chester to fight Mason Cartwright. There's reward there. The WBC Silver International, what gives him a WBC ranking. That was there, which opens doors, which will be announced soon for Danny. But them are the fights you need to take. Yeah. Conor Lee Jones is a prime example of what boxing is all about on small law shows. 2 times national champion, represented his country, started off selling great amounts of tickets. Due to him having to pull out a couple of shows with a broken hand, his opponent pulling out. The next time he was out, he struggled to sell.
Yeah.
I have to chuck money in my own pocket
Yeah.
for it to make up his opponent's wage, just because I needed him out. And then it was like, do we carry on down this route for the next few fights? And I know what Connor's like, you'll get bored. Or do we push him on and take that Midlands title? And the board have passed him. Everything's been passed. So we got the Midlands title shot. Yeah, he's only done 4 rounds, but that's what I'm saying. That's the chances we got as a stable.
Yeah.
And the belief I've got in my lads of how good they are. Because once Connor gets past this 10-rounder, which I know he's going to come out with the title, then he'll just blossom then and he'll progress.
And it's ain't that as well. Like, we're all stable now. Like, success breeds success. It's like, you know, and it's a knock-on effect. Like you say, you got 2 lads fighting for the Midlands, ain't you?
Yeah, Connor Walker, he's just joined the stable as well. Another good fighter. Yeah, so he's fighting for the Midlands title. And then, well, what coming, April? Yeah, at the end of this month, I believe we'd have had 2 Midlands champions and a WBC Silver International champion in the gym.
That's what I'm saying. And then really, your stable isn't that old at all, really. And like you say, if one start, there's a feel-good factor in the gym then. You know, if everyone's winning, and you say that, you've got good sparring in the gym now as well. You know what I mean? I remember before the lockdown, I remember watching the sparring. I was like, God, this is good sparring now.
That's where you got Jason Wellborn, who's just joined as well. And you got to look at what he's achieved in his career so far. And he's still got a good couple of fights left in him, I believe. And it's what he's added to the stable already. What Danny and Connor can learn off Jace with his experiences. And that he's a big, strong lad as well. So he's going to make the lads work as well. And because Jace is working along lads who are fresh and hungry, that want to achieve what he's achieved, it's going to keep the fire in Jace's belly as well and get the best out of Jace.
You say it works both ways. Like that, it's good to have him around the gym to like exactly what you just said, and like you say, it's keeping him fresh and on his toes because you've got these young prospects. Oh yeah, I get that. Now you've got, but then you can go the other way. Then you got like you know, you got like they had the good pedigrees in Danny and Connor and both Connors, and then you got, like you say, you got Trey, who it's not just all about like good pedigree come from that. You got Trey. How many amateur bouts did he have? I mean, I know he was at Brooklands with Macca, but
I think he had about 12 amateur bouts.
Yeah, and then you've got to try and bring him and guide him as well. So you got different levels, ain't you? Different levels, and then you got coming through.
That's it. You got to look at the big picture of it all. You got to look at what we try and do. Me, Rob, and Ian. We just try and have a look at what we think they can achieve over the next 12 months. Yeah. What route do we take? Where with the likes of Ashley Shingler, another boxer who's turning over, he had a good amateur background, but he wants to take more away fights, which will be good. But the trouble is with Ashley, he'll be causing a few too many upsets on the road.
And then
you need to be. Yeah, it's one of them. It's a catch. You need to be careful what you're actually doing on the road.
Yeah.
As for T, he's going to start off his career as the own fighter and try and build up a few wins behind him and see where it takes him.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you as well was interesting. Like, you know, like old school boxing when you was a pro and amateur, like most boxers done the conditioning in house. What I mean is, your pro coach mostly do your conditioning as well. You do your circuits, you do some of these. Whereas now it's different now. Most boxers now, or any athlete, has got their own conditioning coach, and then as well as you. How do you feel that? Because I know how do you feel that goes with? Because obviously you, like 10 years ago, the boxing coach oversaw everything or did everything.
Yeah.
And it's changed. Yeah. Now you've got, he's doing conditioning coach with him, then he's coming to me, then every fighter's got a different conditioning coach and a nutritionist. How do you find that now? Because obviously you get the final say because you're the boxing coach. You're the one who get. What I'll say with a boxing coach, if it goes wrong, you take the stick. If it goes right, you know, I think there's a lot of responsibility on a boxing coach's shoulders compared to anyone else in the sport. Hello?